How we doing, guys? It's the Richard Hicks Show. And as many of you know, recently I've decided to go on my own and continue making a sports podcast. I titled this A Sports Podcast and More, the new show. And right now, without further ado, I plan on giving you more. A little bit about me. I'm a very big sports guy, as you know, and I love doing shows about sports. But I'm also a big movie buff. And part of the show, I also want to be able to dive into certain music, certain movies, and especially now with football season coming to an end pretty soon, thought it was a good time to kind of veer left a little and talk about something fun from the TV world that I always found very interesting. Topic today that I want to speak on is the anti-hero. A lot of TV shows kind of want the route of making the main character the anti-hero. But I feel that none of it was possible without one particular character and one particular show that decided to really go out and take a chance. Talking about this guy, Tony Soprano, who in his own right was a pretty big sports fan, but played by the late, great James Gandolfini. Sopranos was a game changer in terms of TV. I don't think that there's any chance that the show could have made it on network TV. I think it was appropriate, especially at the time that HBO took the show. But there's one episode in season one that stands out to me that defined this guy's character. Now, for those of you who don't know, The Sopranos was loosely based on a crime family in real life from New Jersey. Um, Tony Soprano was the main character of this show. But on an episode called College, he took his daughter Meadow to look at a college to kind of get acclimated with the area. But basically, by pure accident, Tony ran into someone who got away and was in witness protection. Ultimately, they had a confrontation and Tony killed the guy. This was the first documented time in any kind of TV history, essentially, where the main character committed murder on camera. And as the show grew in popularity and had an amazing run, I feel that this particular episode opened the door for a lot of shows like Breaking Bad, which was essentially about a school teacher who was fighting cancer that needed to leave money for his family and ended up cooking up meth. You have another anti hero, so to speak, in Dexter, serial killer type, but a serial killer of bad people. It was very interesting the way that I believe that this particular show, The Sopranos, opened up the door for all of that because part of being the anti hero is that the viewer knows that you're not necessarily a good person, but there are enough outstanding qualities that lead the viewer into relating to you, rooting for you, hoping you're okay, and I guess ultimately saying, hey, this guy's not really that bad. But for anyone who hasn't checked out The Sopranos yet, I would definitely think it's a must. It's actually my favorite show ever, and it's been off the air since 2007. HBO Max recently released a prequel of The Sopranos, The Many Saints of Newark. It's hard to recapture the magic of a show, especially when the main character passed on in real life. Rest in peace, James Gandolfini. But I just had to bring that up about how this particular show basically opened the floodgates for the anti-hero to be a thing. And I definitely think it changed television forever, particularly cable television that carried shows like the Breaking Bads, and the Dexters. I feel that The Sopranos was the father to that, and the character was Tony that made it possible for a lot of other shows to kind of follow that lead and change the face of what a lead character does and doesn't do. So definitely check that out. As I said, this is a sports podcast, but this is like another love of mine. Just absolutely love movies, particularly gangster flicks. I'm a big Godfather fan. I'm willing to bet that I'm probably gonna have something for you guys in reference to some of that as well. But yeah, wanted to kind of change it up a little and hit on the anti-hero. And I'll be honest, this is a lot more interesting than anything that I could have talked to you about in the Pro Bowl yesterday. Have a great day, guys.